Hey, my Jujubes. Welcome back to the channel. How are you guys doing today? I missed you guys on yesterday, but I am back today. If you are new here, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hold on, guys. I gotta fix this. I know this looks crazy because it's on my stand. Okay, sorry. If you are new here, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It would do my heart so happy if you did. I had some bachelorette festivities last night, so that's why I wasn't able to record a video yesterday. So please bear with me as I record it today. So today I have jambalaya. See that? Let me get my thumbnail without the Mountain Dew. So it just has shrimp and dooley sausage. See the sausage? Rice. I think it has crawfish and chicken and shrimp. I want to say it's really good. With the dirty, spicy rice. So how are you guys doing today? I didn't bring no napkins again. I got another one, but I can't find it. So I don't even remember where I left off last time, and that's bad because usually I watch my video. But I think I told you guys about them being at the oh, I know exactly where I left off at. So when they left the restaurant, when they were at the restaurant and she had kind of got spicy with the with the therapist, and the therapist was basically, when Alani thought that the therapist was somebody that Ethic was seeing when it really was just Easy's therapist. So that's when Morgan was like, it's fine if she stays, you know. I don't have to like it, but it's okay if she does. So then we go to Morgan. And she was listening to some LMA, the gut feeling, that's my song. And it says she laid in a darker room, shades drawn, submerged in the darkness, as tears soaked the pillow. This is how she's been living lately. You know, trying to crawl out of the depression that she's in. But it's hard for her. Because, like I said, Messiah built her up so much and so far, only to knock her down. Not to mention, she's pregnant. So it's one thing to, you know, have a breakup. He go his separate way. He go his way, you go yours. And y'all don't have anything left. But with her, it's a constant reminder every day she wake up with that baby inside of her, that the person who she created that baby with is not around and done left her to figure it out on her own. So I can imagine that her depression is a little bit more than meets the eye. But so she in a funk still, okay? So Arya come over like, girl, get up. Enough is enough. We're not finna keep on doing this. We need to get up out of his house. You're not finna stay in this room and just be feeling like this all the time. Get on up. Let's go. And she basically was telling like, I just don't feel like it, you know. I don't feel well. It's miserable. And she told her like, I could reach out to Issa, but I don't know if his number's the same, but I follow him on each IG. She said he hasn't reached out to me. He picked up and left town without even thinking twice about me. Like, did I mean anything to him? Like, everything that we talked about, all of our relationship just a joke or just a game? Like, a ploy or a plot? She was like, it's a lot. And so she was like, Mo, like, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. So she told her, like, just stay out of it. I know you got whatever going on with Easton. I'm not asking you to cut that off or to stay away from him. I don't care if you unblock him. Just don't talk about me. My business is my business. Issa can't find out about the baby either. And she said, and don't look at me like he's the victim. He's no victim. She said, okay, Mo, I got it. You don't want him to know. I won't tell him. Okay, fine. So she finally got some clothes on and decided that she was going to go with Aria or whatever for a little while. And when she came out, Ethic and Alani were on the couch, laid up like lovers do. And when they saw her, they both got up. Like I said, they tried to accommodate Lil Morgan more than I think I would, but who knows? I've never been in that situation, but I feel like as accommodating as Alani was, Morgan was a jerk. But so when she came down, they say Alani was like, "You're up," and she's like, "Do you feel better?" She said, "Not really, but I can use some air. I'll be back later." And I think I asked her, like, is are your locations on? And she's like, yeah, they He's like, okay, stay out of the city. She's like, you know what? I think I'm going to spend a night over at Aria's. Let me go get my stuff or whatever. And so Ethic is like, Mo. And she like, no, like, I really want to go. And she said she needs to get back to living because she can't just continue to pause her life because Messiah is no more. She said she was thinking about maybe traveling with some friends, abroad for the summer or going to dance with Aria at the dance studio, something. Anything she could do to get her mind off of the state that her mind is in right now. And so, she's like, you going to do all of that pregnant? And she's like, I got to do something because I can't pretend that I'm okay because I'm not. She said she thought about it and she okay. So he's like, you going to do all that pregnant? She was like, I thought about it and I don't think that that's going to work for me. I don't think that I can carry the baby of a snake in the grass like Messiah. And she said, I'm not like y'all. I don't want to try to find love through mountains of pain. The two of you shouldn't even be together. All that pain, all that hurting each other, deceiving each other, and now you lying on the couch watching a movie like none of that's happened. She said, but I know she still hates you. She must, because I couldn't imagine not hating Messiah anymore after what he's done to me. She said, I'm never going to not feel this. I don't want to have a baby with someone I'm always going to hate. I'll make the appointment. I don't need you there to hold my hand. I can do it by myself. I'm not a little girl. So then Alani says, well, stop acting like one, Morgan. So, of course, that made everybody else kind of snap like, ooh. And so she told Alani told Aria, like, can you go outside for a minute? Can you give me a more second? And she told Eric the same thing, like, can you give me and Morgan a minute? So I think hesitantly, stands up. He goes, give her a kiss on the forehead or whatever, and he lets her go ahead and talk. Now, Ethic knows that Morgan doesn't have a motherly figure at all. Like, she doesn't have one at all. She's never had one since she's been with him. So since her mom passed away, she hasn't had anyone, and nobody has stepped into those shoes enough to give Morgan what she needed in a womanly advice. I guess she got all the love and security from Ethic, but she didn't get that, that motherly thing, those hugs after those cries when you bumped your knees, or those intense conversations about how do you handle yourself with men, or what it feels like to fall in love and what it feels like to know you being played. Like, she didn't really have that. It's not an excuse, but she didn't have it. So some stuff she's just learning on her own, or she's just going with what she feels in the inside, not knowing that sometimes that's not enough, or that's too much, or whatever the case may be. So she asked her, can she sit down? And she told her that I'm not my brother, and I know that when you see me, that you think that every time. She was like, and I'm sorry for what he did to you, and I want you to know that he wasn't raised that way. She was like, he wasn't raised that way at all. Nanny didn't raise him to be that way. And she basically was telling her, like, I apologize for the things that he did. She was like, but I want you to know that I've been where you are. I've been in your shoes. I know what it's like to not want to have a baby by a man who you feel like you're going to hate for the rest of your life. Hence, her and Ethic. She was like, but if that's what you want to do and you want to get rid of the only piece of him that you have left, then that's a decision that you have to make. But you have to do it because it's something that you feel like you can't do. Not because you're trying to be selfish or get back at Messiah for the hurt that he's caused you. And she was like, I know that there's a lot of love there between the two of you, or whatever the case may be. And I'm pretty sure that, maybe it could be forgiven, or you guys could talk about it. And Morgan was like, well, the difference between me and you is that Ethic stayed with you. He stayed to fight with you. He stayed to love you. She was like, Messiah just picked up and left me and didn't think twice about me. She was like, it's not the same. It's not the same. And so she said, Ethic wanted you. He chased you. She said, he left me. Alani, him being able to just up and leave without calling me, without thinking about me, that's even worse than him being Mazan's brother. I'll never forgive him for that. She said, that baby is a part of him, Morgan. You should think about it if you want to get rid of the last piece of him that is still here. She said, I know you're not your brother. I still see him, though. When I look at you and it's hard, everything is just always so hard. So then she leaves and goes to Arya. So Alani and Morgan's relationship is strained, mostly because I think they both are battling for not a position, so to speak, but they're both battling for the number one spot in Ethic's life. And for a long time, it was Morgan. Even though he had children and they were a very adamant part of his life, Morgan was it. And so now, here's Alani, and she's taking that spot. It would have been okay if Messiah still was around, because somebody would be able to keep her busy. But it's not the same. And like I said, Morgan's going through a lot. So, Bella asked her mom, not her mom, but Alani and Ethic if she could have her party at Nanny's this year. All her friends are over there. The new friends that she makes, she really doing it for Henny, to be honest, is what I think. But she said all her friends are over there. She could have like a block party. And he was like, a block party, B, that's going to be hard to control. And she was like, well, she said, my daddy owns the block, I thought it would be okay. And he was like, yeah, I don't know about that, but you don't have no other ideas? He was like, that's just too much. We're forever trying to control who's going to come up and down the street. She's turned 13, so she wants something big. So they was thinking like, carnival type of thing, a water dunk tank in the back. She said a bouncy house for like the younger kids. She was like, please, 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 Daddy, please. And He kept on saying no, but Alani was pulling rank like, I think we're gonna be able to do that. So they was in the kitchen having breakfast or dinner, and she said, "Yeah, I mean my friends can come up the block if they want to. If not, oh well." He talking about the block, huh? What you know about the block, baby girl? She was like, "I know that I own it, so it should be perfectly fine to have any party there, right?" You, she said, "Oh, you own it." She said, "I mean, kind of, sort of, though, through affiliation. My parents own it, so that's kind of mine too." Well, I said, "I see no lies, B." So they were talking about the block party, and they wound up having a food fight. Throwing food at each other, smashing potatoes and stuff in their face. You know, a nice little light little moment for the family that they have there. Um, so, so then they went upstairs after they was slinking potatoes and stuff in the kitchen. They went upstairs and Alani and Ethic snuck off in the closet like teenagers trying to make out in the closet. And then while they was making out in the closet, all of the stuff fell down in the closet. And Ethic is, as easy like, Dad, what are y'all doing in there? He was like trying to play hide, go get it. And Alani's like, don't say that. And then she told Easy like, don't listen to him. And so when he came out, he was like, Dad, did you win? Like, win what? Like, hide, go get it. And he said not yet, but definitely. He definitely gonna get it. But before they did that, not Ezra. B was like, "You need to, big man, come on and come upstairs, and let she said let Daddy get some pie, and she said no. Alani said no, and then Bella was like, just give him some pie, Alani, and Easy, get up here and let grown people be grown. And so Alani was like, oh, so we definitely probably need to have the conversation with Bella now where she's talking about pie, because she know that pie ain't real pie, it's pie. So he said we definitely need to have a conversation with Bella because she still should think that pie is pie. And so they was in the kitchen. Now they got a mess to clean up. And so Alani is kind of like a house domesticated type of woman. So even though Lily is around, she feels like she don't have to have Lily around. So she's like, I can clean up all this mess. It's not a big deal. That's what you got me for here now. He was like, okay. So then he got a phone call while they was in the middle of cleaning up. And he was like, I need to go make a run or whatever. I might be long, but I'll be back. And she's like, is this Ron, another woman? He was like, no, and we shouldn't have those type of questions for each other. Like, you should know that you all I got. So he was like, I might be long. So, wait up for me. So he leaves out. And walks into a restaurant and he meets Zaya Miller. Now, Zaya has her own story, I believe. I don't believe, but I know. She has her own story. Story is called Supreme Clientele, her and Snow. I think she's in Supreme Clientele. She might be in Dirty Money too, if I'm not mistaken. Those are kind of like older books, but they really are good. But this is where you meet these people. So he goes and he meets Zaya at a restaurant. And Zaya is basically on the run from the United States of America. So she only flies in and out every once in a while because that was the only way she was able to stay out of jail, is if she got out of the country. And she did just that. So Zaya got money, okay? She got money and she's the connect, okay? And her husband got a nice little thing going on. So you go read Supreme Clientele and you can hear Zaya's story because she really is the truth. I like Zaya though. I really do. She a boss in her own right. And she really ain't succumbed to she ain't have to go through a whole bunch of pain with her husband, her boyfriend, to get on top. Like she on top. Okay. And she's on top and she done brought other people in. She living it up. Okay. But so he contacts her because she has a whole slew of resources to all different people in the world. And so he Ethic contacted her to try to help him find Messiah, because he, like I said, taught him how to go underground. And so he's like, now I can't find him. He's gone and I need him now, but I can't find him. And so she was like, I can't, she told him like, well, I cannot find him at all. Like, I've looked everywhere through all the contacts that I have, all the connections that I have. And it's like, he just dropped off the face of the planet. And she was like, but I did find something else that's interesting. And what I did find is that Mazan is not Messiah's brother. It's kind of a sick, twisted little thing they had going on. But Mazan was Bookie's lover. And it kind of probably started off as like him doing it against Mazan's will, but the older that Mazan got, it probably turned into something that he felt like he was subjective to. So it was kind of like, it's real sick, if you ask me. Bookie is a real sick individual. But she was like, so they're not related. Like, there's no bloodline in between Mazan and Mazan and Messiah. So Messiah just belongs to Bookie and he's not affiliated with Mazan. So that's kind of like a weight off his shoulder a little bit, because it's like the betrayal was because you was manipulated, not because you really share no bloodline with this man. Like, he don't know that though, because Messiah doesn't know that yet. Messiah doesn't know that Mazan is not his brother. So she told him, like, it was really good seeing you. And I hope that woman of yours is treating you well. I can tell she done brought a little light to you. He's like, yeah, she's not up for discussion. And that's because Yaya done went back and told Zaya about them being together. So he's kind of like conflicted now because he doesn't know where Messiah is. And he's excited, I guess, a little bit to know that Mazan is really not Messiah's brother. But at the same time, it's like, will I ever find him now so that he can get back here and be with Morgan, to be with her through the birth of this baby? So that's kind of disheartening. Well, as the reader, you know where Messiah is because he has cancer. He's right now fighting fighting cancer, lymphoma. But we know that, but they don't. And I think that Messiah was fighting I think he's in like Maryland eventually. Or maybe he got to still be somewhere in Flint though, because when they drove to Cedar Point, that's like, it's in Ohio. So maybe he was in Ohio somewhere, because I remember them saying that Blue took the 3-hour drive to go to wherever he was. So that might be Ohio, because I'm in Ohio and it takes me 4 hours to get to Michigan, 4 or 5 hours to get to Michigan. So that's about right. So maybe that's where he is, somewhere in Ohio. And so they can't find him, to say the least. So that's the information that she bring back about them. Okay, so then go to Morgan, and Morgan, after this, I think I'm gonna stop. But we go to Morgan, and Arya took her back up to school. And they kind of had like a tailgate thing. They was trying to raise money for the Flint water crisis. So they had like the stiletto gang out, bought a booth. A lot of the Greeks, they bought booths as well to be able to support the cause. And whatever money they raise, they're going to give it to the Flint water crisis. So she's kind of like, out there with her tights on and her hoodie on. She's still trying to conceal her pregnancy because she really doesn't want anybody to know. So, she see White Boy Nick, and White Boy Nick is he is a part of the LGBT community, and he is just the funniest, sweetest person. But he dances with stilettos as well too. So they decided to like go live on Instagram and record like Morgan doing a couple 8 counts, to raise the money or whatever the case may be. So she did the 8 counts, and she's trying to get her spirits up, but it's still hard because she's just still sucking. So Arya recorded it on Instagram and was like, look at all the, either Instagram live, I think. And they was recording her and people was liking the video, whatever the case may be. But then after everything kind of settled down, she was like, I think I'm going to go ahead and go home. She's like, are you sure I could drive? She's like, no, I could walk. I need the fresh air. So as she's walking, she sees Bash. Okay, I don't like Bash. I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't like him. Something about him just don't sit well with me. And he drives her home. And so she's like, what do you want from me? Like, there's nothing that I can offer you. I'm not in a position to give you anything. Like, I just got out of a relationship and that broke me completely down. I don't even look at love the same. I will chew you up and spit you out just because I can. So be real with me. What is it? You want a bone? You trying to, what, be a relationship with me? Like, what are you trying to do, Bash? Because I don't got time to play none of that. He was like, well, eventually I would want to marry you. She was like, you say that now, but that's not it. He was like, I just wish, um, she was like, I'm not the same girl that you met in psychology class. He was like, you should miss that girl because you should miss her because she believed in love. And she like, yeah, what, have a good one. I'm getting out the car. So she gets out the car and go in the house. And I think she might have like put on a sweatshirt of Messiah's. Or maybe this might have been the time she packed this stuff up. But while Morgan was dancing, Messiah was watching her on live. And she was dancing to that song, Let Me See It, Let Me See It. She was dancing to that. And he's talking about, I see you living shorty with your fast ass. And so that's when Blue told him, if you tell her you won't have to stalk her on the IG, he's talking about, don't do me like that. You know it's true. I'm the only one who knows. Issa and Amik don't even know. Ethic doesn't know. This is a heavy secret to keep, Messiah. You need people here with you. It's getting bad, Messiah. Where's Meek and Issa? Talking about Meek is in Michigan overseeing the business there. And she's like, Meek is at Michigan State. Why don't you call him and tell him to bring Morgan up here? He like, nah, because I don't want to receive me like this, Blue. Hooked up to the radiation, hair falling down. I'm dropping weight because I can't eat nothing. I'm not letting the girl I love watch me die. Meek either. Issa either. This is weak. Nobody respects you when you're hooked up to this. Nobody fears you. I don't want nobody to see this. She said, you naming people who never feared you though, Messiah. People who loved you from the beginning. Like, they would be here. They your village. Like, they would help you through this. And he like, nah. And he told her, like, don't say her name no more, B. I don't want her here. You're all I got. I understand if you don't want to watch it either. I'm good. I can do it alone. And then this is when he told her about the Christmas gift. He was like, this is a bad Christmas gift, B. This was a bad, stupid Christmas gift. He was like, I'm going to buy you something stupid for Christmas next time, like a vacuum or a washing machine, something dumb like that. He was like, this is a real stupid gift. He said, I'm getting you a mammogram for Christmas. That's what I'm going to get you. And so this is what he had made. His social media account is called Murder King 810. He looked at the video again and said, pretty ass. And it was the first time he ever liked one of her posts on social media. So she wouldn't have even known it was him, but he did like it. And so as he was sitting there watching her dance in the video, that's when he asked her. He said, he said his profile picture was a butterfly because that's what Morgan was to him. Her sister had been a moth, destructive and fated for disaster, fated to fly into a flame. Morgan was different. She would fly, but she would fly free, floating through life from experience to experience, letting everyone admire her beauty. A queen on the throne, soaring high, a butterfly. And so he squeezed the bridge of his nose because, he getting emotional now. He said, hey, yo, B, you'll tell her after it's over that I loved her. You'll tell her, right? You'll make sure she knows. And then she said, Messiah, stop talking like that. And then he looked up at her and she said, yes, Messiah, I'll make sure she knows. So then she gave him a journal and told him, like, why don't you write it down, what you want to say to her so that when you're gone, she can read it. And she said, you're going to hurt her, Messiah. She won't understand. She should hear from you. Write it down and I'll make sure she get it. She'll want to hear from you. So he nodded and went on about his business. So that's when she met Bash. So this is when she went inside. Oh, she removed her clothes and pulled open the drawer with Messiah. So she took out a basketball jersey and slipped it onto her frame and then grabbed a bottle of his cologne and sprayed it on her wrist. and she climbed in the bed and tried to fall asleep. I think she was torturing herself. But so I'm gonna stop right there. I think I probably only have 2 chapters left. So the next video that I have will probably be the end of this, and I'll go ahead and start book 6. So don't forget, if you're new here, to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate you. I did not give a fun fact. So a fun fact that I'm going to give about myself is that I can sing. A lot of times I play around and often, fool around here and there, but I really can't sing. So I really have a singing voice. I don't use it for anything but around the house, in the showers, maybe a couple gospel songs, but I do have a singing voice. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys. I have to stop my own video today. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye, my Juju Bees.